Hello, everybody. A historic day for the University of Miami and for University of Miami basketball. The Miami Hurricanes have named Jay Lucas the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes basketball program. And, Coach, welcome to the University of Miami family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to get there. I'm excited to be a part of the family.
What intrigued you the most about the University of Miami head coaching job?
Well, the first thing that intrigued me the most was once I got to meet all the people that were involved in making the decision, it kind of made me feel like it was home. And that was really important for me, especially with my family and moving away. Being a coach, you move a lot. So making another move, I wanted to make sure it was the right people. And that's what is down there in Miami. And I'm excited to get to work with them.
Yeah, on that same path, your impressions of the University of Miami athletics and the leadership that you're going to be surrounded with, your impressions when you met with them.
My first impression was just the passion that there is down there for the University of Miami and all of athletics, but especially for basketball. And their kind of vision of where they want the program to go moving forward in this new era aligned with my vision. And once we got on the same page with that, I thought it was a match made in heaven, at least for me.
Yeah, it is a new era, certainly in college basketball. Maybe you could expand on that a little bit about why you're a good fit for this new era. You really, I think, are perfectly equipped to handle all the things that are going on in college basketball.
Well, it's different, it's completely different than the college basketball we all grew up knowing 10, 20 years ago. It's so much more that is involved with recruiting, with just the portal, with NIL, everything moving forward. And I've had the unique opportunity to be places that have been at the forefront of doing what is most suited for where it's headed. My work I've done here at Duke, but also at Kentucky, we were kind of the first two schools to really jump into this NIL era and I feel be very successful. So, my job is to bring my resources and everything that I've learned everywhere I've been and apply it to Miami and in the best way that fits Miami, but also fits me and my personality.
Now, you mentioned some of your stops. You've been around some great coaches, other great programs. What are some of the lessons that maybe that you learned at those places that will help you here in Miami?
The first thing is just being true to who you are. That's the one thing I've learned from all the great coaches I work for. When it comes from Shaka Smart to John Calipari to John Shire to Rick Barnes and even playing for Billy Donovan, I've learned that you have to be comfortable in your skin, and if you aren't who you are, everyone can tell right away, especially the players. And then secondly, just putting the players first. They're the lifeline of everything that goes on in the program when it comes from recruiting, but also retention and keeping them there and making them have the ownership of knowing that this is their program. I'm here to guide them and direct them, but I want them to be the people who get us to where we want to get to.
Well, when I do my research on games, I'm always intrigued when I look at a bio and I say, "Oh, this player, this coach is the son of a coach." And certainly, your father, former player, coach, we're all very
Yep.
familiar with him. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from your father?
I mean, he's the foundation of my coaching. He was my first coach. The one thing I've really learned from him is just how to connect with people on different levels and people from all over. That's one of the one things I think he is, if not the best at, and he's underappreciated in that. But just his experience from dealing with adversity and coming back from his background and everything he's had to go to, but also passing those lessons on to your players and the people around you is a big key for me. And that's the first thing and one of the most important things I've learned from him.
As you look into your crystal ball, what will be your first steps that you take when you come here to the University of Miami?
The first thing is just making sure I have a staff that is aligned with me and my vision. So making sure I get the right people around me and around the players um, every day. And then also for me would be getting the right players. People I like to consider, I want to be the most connected program in the country. So making sure I recruit connectors is what I like to call them. People who are aligned with what our culture will be. Three things that we really value in my program are relationships, development, and competition. And so going into that, making sure we have people that are in relentless pursuit of making sure we have meaningful relationships, that every day we're trying to get better in our development, both on and off the court. And then we are constant competitors. for 40 minutes, but the competition doesn't just go into the games. It also goes into the practice. It goes into academics. It goes into pouring it into each other. So making sure we recruit the right people, but also having the right people around the players is a big key. So that's kind of where I want to get started and get the program moving forward from there.
Yeah, I imagine along those lines and selling the program that aligns with the University of Miami, the brand here with the University of Miami, the orange and green. This is a very strong brand, isn't it?
It is. And, that was a big key for me when looking for a head coaching job and my first head coaching job. I've been blessed to be somewhere where I have a great job and it wasn't somewhere I was looking to leave from unless it was the right fit. And I felt Miami was the right fit. It helps me utilize some of the things I feel that I'm really good at. One of them is recruiting. And, part of that is having a national brand and a brand that you can sell and pitch. And Miami is definitely that. The one thing I always say, you can go anywhere in the world, but this means one thing, and everybody knows. And that's a big part of being able to sell it and a big part of being able to use it to recruit how I want to recruit.
And then I guess finally, maybe your vision for how you'd like to see your team play, the style of play that you would like to see inside this great league, the ACC.
Yeah, the ACC is a very historic league and has great players and has had great coaches.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of a reset. We have a bunch of new coaches in the league, and it's just a fresh start. And I think what I want to do in my vision and how I see it, I'm defensive minded, so it'll start on the defensive end. I am true into the old saying of defense wins championships. So we'll be a very hard-nosed defensive teams. We'll give you multiple looks, but we're going to be able to rebound the ball, and that starts with controlling the ball. So making sure the ball can't get in the paint, that kind of be the key. And then offensively, playing fast. The way the game is played today, you have to be able to have multiple people on this court who can shoot. So size and shooting is something along with skill that's very important to me, but also making sure we're playing at the right tempo so we have enough possessions in the game to kind of get to the high scores that we want to play in, playing in the 80s, playing in the high 70s, but also keeping people in the 60s. So that's just kind of a little template of what I want to do. I don't want to give too much away, but I just wanted to give a little snippet of how I envision us playing there in Miami.
Yeah. Well, we've seen your defense firsthand, so we got a good dose of it. Thank you so much for being with us, Jay Lucas. Congratulations on becoming the next head coach here at the University of Miami.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me, Joe. I'm excited and I cannot wait to get to Coral Gables.